right, so your guided notes today looks like this, and we are going to be using this same set of guided notes for several days, where we're going to be doing a few different shapes at a time. So as you probably figured, today's area formula we're going to be looking at is that of a parallelogram. But before we do that, we are going to just solidify what we know about these two shapes here, since they're so closely related. Okay, so we have, of course, the area of 2D figures. So we remember the area means the space within it, as opposed to the perimeter, which is around it. So I'm just going to write area. That equals, I'm going to put area equals the lawn, because we remember that perimeter is the fence around it, right? So think of it like let's say this is your yard. The fence around it, that's the perimeter. But the lawn, all of the grass, that's the area. Okay, so that's what we're talking about with that terminology. Okay, so here we have a shape. This is obviously a square. Now, to calculate the area of a square, you take the side lengths, which we know they're all equal, and then you multiply them together. So it's side times side, right? And that will give you the area. Now, we know that the side lengths are equal, so you do it this way, side squared. And that's literally where the squared word comes from, because it's talking about the area of a square. You're taking the same number and you're multiplying it by itself. So that's why it's called a square. Okay, and now we have the area of, here's this other shape. This is a rectangle, and we already know the formula for a rectangle. The area, you are going to do the length times the width. Okay, so that length times the width. All right, now we are going to use that same thinking to calculate the area of the parallelogram. So the formula for calculating the area of the parallelogram, if you remember from the inquiry, it's basically just rearranging the parallelogram into a rectangle. So this little bit here, imagine it like a puzzle piece that you've cut off and you've moved it over there, and now you have just a regular old rectangle. So the parallelogram, parallelogram, the area is equal to, let's use a different color for this, the base times the height. Okay, so that's going to be the base times the height, which if we were to think of it in terms of a rectangle, that's just the length times the width. So if this piece were over there, it would make a little rectangle. Okay, that's it. So use that formula to do your practice set. If you have any questions, join me for office hours.